Yeah, I was on a friend's podcast, and she uses Riverside. I think she's also in the podcasting biz.
Riverside Ransom.
Yes, it seems to be kind of a standard. I think Bim Bam uses it. I think NoClip has been using it.
I think we got Daycare Dittos onto it at one point.
Since Zencaster kind of
got
a little too premium or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I think it was also like kind of shitty. Like they used the actual features of Zencaster and got like the ad reads and shit with it, and I think it still fucked them over pretty hard. And Dave was like, "God, I fucking hate Zencaster." For one of their ads, it was for like Liquid IV or whatever, and Dave just had audio of what sounded like pissing. He was like, "I am so hydrated that I just can't stop pissing. I'm just pissing all the time, and you can be pissing like me." I was like, that actually made me want to get Liquid IV.
Yeah, I'm in now.
That's how I
fucking love piss.
I love piss.
God, I love piss.
Can't talk now.
That can be the intro to the episode. Just
God, I love
just piss. Going, I love piss.
And then Alex will chime in and be like, "We get it, Carl. You really like Drill's Twitch stream, piss. And you're always talking about it. And you did meet friend of the show, Pidge. Actually, me and Alex both met Pidge.
That's true.
Because of the piss
I've also met Pidge. Oh, no, but not because of that.
Yeah, not the ball game.
Was that in the interim time that we've been away?
I think so. I think it was hiatus number 2, maybe.
Every FNFF, the only podcast where all the members have met Pidge.
If I'm like gawking at my lap right now, it's because I've come across some really good topical history. So by the way, how have you all been? Assuming that this is where
I've been better. How have you been?
Yeah, where the world's better. The world's
what
great.
News from the other parts of Tamriel? Nothing I'd like to talk about. No, I've been pretty good. All things considered.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to All Things
Considered.
I
was gonna say.
Yeah. Etc.
Etc.
How about you, Curtis?
I'm fine. I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
personally, I'm doing okay. Yeah.
You've all been. I mean, Curse is of course still Zakuing, and we were chatting in the parking lot the other night because I was picking up some shit from his work.
Indeed.
We've both been getting into Godot and game dev, so we were just kind of talking about good practices with that.
Yeah, friend of the show, Sam from Artificial Scarcity, is also getting into Godot, I saw.
It's good. Yes. It's a good little program.
It's cool. I briefly got into it because I am really bad at focusing on work projects for my job. And I thought, how can I gamify my job so that I can actually want to do my job? And we had a big cabling project coming up. And I was like, what if I just made a game that did all of the cable measurements for me in real time of playing a game where you're cabling a building. And then I never actually fucking did that, and I just bought way too much cable. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not saving myself any money. I don't give a fuck. Here, fuck it."
It's like Pipe Dream, but with networking.
Mm-hmm. So I would still like to make that, but oh, God, who has the time to make a video game these days?
Who has the time? Truly.
And who has time to play them?
Speaking of which, what are we doing today?
We're just checking in.
Yeah,
I call this the State of the Pod episode check-in, kind of because we haven't posted since or shared an episode, I think since October, maybe.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, we've been petering out as not really any specific reason except that just life is chaotic, and we've all been kind of...
Living in America has never been better.
Yeah.
I also feel like great again. Luckily.
The three of us are also like projects type people, and we've all had our projects that we've been doing, making a video game or hooking up, whatever. Just doing a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah, people are asking where we've been, what the fuck happened. I want to make sure that
wait, people are asking you. I thought the weird thing was that we haven't posted in months, and no one has noticed. No one is coming to my Twitch stream asking YouTube comments or on Discord or on Reddit. And if you are listening and that applies to you, thank you. I always tried to answer as best as I could. And like Curtis said, or Alex, I'm not even sure who, but there's no real good reason why we haven't, other than shit's really fucking busy.
I've been also kind of, I think, burnt out like from just staring at screens from my work, which I think I do not, take for granted that the podcast is what got me this job. And when you're editing audio, whether it's, fucking Kelsey Grammer or a children's book or just anything like all day, the last thing I want to do is do it again with my best friends.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it would be the other way around, I would say. But if I was doing it with my dearest friends, I would much rather be doing that full time. But
sure. In this economy, come on.
Come on.
Yeah. So like the time to actually between that and also like I'm kind of in 2 bands right now, potentially a third temporarily. And that's been taking over since my band, The Human Fly. We've been gearing up to record this summer, so we've been doing a lot of getting ready for that. Which is
how long could recording an album take? I mean, like albums are like 30 to 40 minutes, so I assume it takes that or less time.
Yeah, imagine editing a podcast, but
7 members and paying by the hour.
Yeah. And Kirst, you've been doing pretty well with Saku, right?
Well, we've been doing very well as far as like playing a lot of shows and like writing new tunes and learning. As far as recording the album goes, I finally finished my guitar parts this week.
Bless.
And I recorded the first guitar part for this album in October 2022. So it only took us a little bit of time for me to get through that one.
Yeah. So dear podcast listeners, if you're like, damn, like where's the new episodes and stuff? That's kind of like when From Software fans were complaining that Elden Ring wasn't coming out fast enough. Meanwhile, Elder Scrolls fans are like dead on the side of the road waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. Like the Zaku heads have been waiting for the new album for a long time, and it's not just the podcast. It's that we are all I am 30 or 40 years old, and I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I also just haven't been gaming very much these days. Like, I mentioned most people that, like, yeah, my Steam Deck is just a Belated machine most evenings.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have not played it on Steam Deck yet, but I did around October, I guess, or like November, to try and cut down on the doom scrolling on the horrible apps that get worse every day.
Yeah.
And with the news coming in that gets somehow worse than anyone could ever imagine, even though I usually was imagining some of the worst case scenario shit. I got Balatro on my phone, and I spend a lot of time doing that instead of doom scrolling.
Are you like metagaming with Regal?
I am. I'm not like going full in and like learning all the strats. I'm kind of just trying to brute force my way through with what I've seen Regal do, and I got to like exponent 80 last night. I was up until like 3 a.m. trying to get the glitched high score, and I fucking fumbled it, and I was like, fuck.
Oh.
I was like too tired, and I forgot to re-roll a boss thing, and then I fucking fumbled it, and I was like, well, ain't that just the way?
It's a roguelike math builder, basically.
Yeah, it's my favorite calculator. It's my favorite reason to use a calculator and then be like, fuck it, I'm just going on vibes because I'm too dumb to calculate these multipliers.
Yeah, it is kind of true though. Like, I have been playing games a lot less in general. I think I stopped to play the Endless Monday update, which is really good.
Yeah,
10 out of 10. Highly recommend that. Then I played about an hour of the first Devil May Cry game that I've never played before.
Was that the remake one?
No, not the remake, just the original.
Nice. I know that they recently came out with a remake of it, but I don't know if that was with the first game or the third or whatever.
It was an HD remaster of it, but I think it's been on computer for a while. But yeah. Until this week, though, until yesterday, and literally yesterday, I bought Claire Obscure, I think it's how you say it. Mm-hmm. And that is
Expedition
one of my
33,
Expedition 33. Right?
Yeah.
One of the best games I've ever played. I'm thinking about it constantly. I just started yesterday and I'm like, all right. I haven't had a like binge game in a long time. This might be one of those. So yeah. I'm excited for that. That's been really nice.
It looks amazing.
Everything I've seen of that game, I'm like, fuck. I don't want to buy it now and have it just sit. but I also do kind of want to buy it now because I feel like it would be good for the developers. But I'm I have too much shit going on. I can't, even though it's not, by all accounts, it's not a super long RPG. JRPG.
Yeah, JRPG. So I'm playing it the intended way and using, or to me the intended way. I'm doing the French VA or whatever.
Curtis started learning French in addition to learning Japanese so that he can.
Oh, you don't want to listen to Andy Serkis and?
I don't know.
He's in there.
Okay.
Andy Serkis and the guy who plays Charlie Cox, the guy who's Daredevil in the Netflix show.
Oh, nice. Well,
he's in there. There's a lot of pretty good talent in there.
People, go on about like whether you should play like most RPGs in like the Japanese voice acting or the English ones, and I'm like, this is the only time I've really had the opportunity to be like, no, this is the original French voice acting, so I want to do that.
Final French to see.
Yeah.
So
some people have been saying it's comparing to Lost Odyssey, right? I think
in some way it's very like
I was talking to B a little bit, and then they were like, I think I also saw a tweet. It was like, if Lies of P is the Bloodborne on PC, then Lost Odyssey is on PC is Expedition 33.
It's, how do I put this? It's like it is very much an RPG that clearly does not have any of its own predecessors, where like a Final Fantasy 16 and onwards, right? They're all very informed by their own history in what they are and what they're doing. This game feels like a game whose first iteration happened in 2025, where there are mechanics from Souls games, there's mechanics from like deck builder games, there's mechanics from fighting games. Like every new character you get in the game is like, oh, well, this is a stance character. And I'm like, stance character? That's delightful. That's fighting games. That's Tekken. Delightful. And then there's one that's like a deck builder character. And I was like, I'm never going to use them because I hate that shit. So it just
played
changes.
Balatro?
I hate Balatro.
Really?
Well, no, that's not true. Balatro is fantastic. I hate card games.
Yeah. That's
I don't even think of it as a card game, which is very funny. Like once you stop like thinking about it hands and just like, this one hand is now like my thing. I'm just going to do a flush rush.
Well, I think it's like
everything is just only aces, and
I had high card up to like 151 last night or some shit.
Level 151?
Yeah.
Holy moly!
I had like blue seals that I was like duping 3 times each round, and I made it to like fucking round 51, and I was like, "This is the run. I'm gonna do it," and then I fucking didn't.
I always feel like the reason I like to play games is like a similar reason I like to read books, and so I'm like, oh, there's no characters in it. Well, I don't really care. Like, you know what I mean?
What about the Joker guy that everyone likes in that?
Jimbo.
Artist Meg Rocks started a trend on the internet of people cosplaying as sexy Jimbo.
I remember that. Yeah.
You saw Ben Starr accepting the
BAFTA. as the Balatro Joker.
Oh, was that him? That's so good. I didn't.
He's been basically the spokesperson, like the face of Balatro in the last.
He's the Final Fantasy 16 guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who like also loves Final Fantasy 8.
Yes.
Good in my book.
Yep. Speaking of which, so I actually don't know this. I haven't asked the two of you this yet, right? What is our plan coming up? I don't even know.
That's a good question.
It reminded me when you said Final Fantasy VIII, and I was just like, are we ever going to get to other... See, will we ever finish this season? I don't know.
I think we will.
Yeah.
There'll be a time when the next lockdown happens where we'll...
Yeah, we just need another... Yeah. Luckily, the chances of another global pandemic have never been higher. If you can call that lucky.
Guess what? All of our they're getting rid of all the FDA regulations.
Yeah. Well, plenty of opportunities to be sick in this country, so that'll be
the sickest year.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's so sick.
Dude, 2026 is gonna be so sick. Fuck.
Yeah, indeed.
I don't know. I don't know. I figure my plan. If it works out schedule wise, I'm probably gonna burn through, not like burn through like fucking half-ass it cram for a test thing, but I'm probably gonna burn through the rest of the homework. Because normally my style of doing it, because the way my brain works is I would do the homework right before we record, like the day or two before, so it's still fresh on my mind. I'm probably gonna go through and actually take notes and do all of that, and then when we have time to record and get into it, then we can do it. And I think for the rest of the season, at least, it might be good to try and just cut episodes back to like maybe an hour-ish.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds. I'm gonna get Panera.
Yeah,
I may just like beeline for the end of the game just to kind of get the plot in my head.
Yeah,
and then go back and like do, because how we're playing it is like the 100% mode, which doesn't really feel like the most natural way as someone who, which maybe is part of why I kind of was bumping against this season.
I think
because
so.
like
I think the same for me. And
where I'm just like, I don't feel as motivated because it feels
to...
more like work because we're going like, I just want to absorb like it as if it was my first playthrough. It's a little more casual.
It's a weird game, and it's not. I don't think it's really the game's fault, because again, at the time when it was developed, like this is not at all how it was thought to ever be considered to be played. But we live in an era where everyone, has everything, any game at like the tips of their fingers, like anything you could do in it. So kind of just like, oh well, yeah, we're gonna do it like 100% and stuff, and follow the guide and check off these boxes and stuff. And it did make kind of doing like the homework being like, oh, okay, it's not as fun as just being like, oh, I'm going to see what I'm going to get into. Like, I personally do not like playing games that way. I've really enjoyed playing this game, but like you were saying, Alex, like I would have much rather just gone through and not gotten 100% and not even known that 100% was a thing and be like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then go back. Like, I think that's more of the natural way that they were expecting you to, especially with New Game Plus apparently being like, the way that they kind of were developing around you getting 100%.
Right.
So yeah, my plan is to kind of just go through, play the rest of it as I was planning on it, but not having it like trying to fit it in with like, oh, well, when are we recording next? Because I want it to be fresh on my mind and get all that done and then be like, hey guys, I'm ready whenever, we can jump in and talk. And the way that I always kind of envisioned it, if it works for your guys' schedules and stuff, is like we just do the podcast the way we normally do, and then to take the load off of Alex of having to like cut down like 3 hours to like maybe 2.5 or something with everything, just being like, oh, okay, well, we have a 3-hour recording session, let's cut it down to the hour, and then we have a cutoff, and then we have more episodes that we can kind of do out, so we don't have to be recording every week as much. That was kind of my idea. If it works out, it also, schedules are tough, so no pressure on anyone, obviously.
Yeah, we did a plan for this episode for about a month or more before we actually were able to get into doing it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, I have band practices, or I'm out of town, my family's in town, or whatever. Like,
yeah.
It's been weird. Speaking of, as I was getting ready to go to a gig about like a week or two ago, because I was getting like a keyboard stand. This is completely unrelated to the podcast, but I had found a treasure trove that is very timely to this game in our basement, because my basement, I should say, is the apartment building's basement. There are 2 other units above us. And the person who lived in
Alex lives above a bowling alley and below another bowling alley.
The unit, that person who used to live here just left a whole cubicle of stuff, maybe even 2 tenants ago, because I found like mail from them like from 2010. You
ought to open that. I heard that's a felony.
But I went downstairs, and underneath a giant cardboard box of really cheap pornography, I found a ginormous storage bin of mid-2000s magazine literature.
Yo, hell yeah.
Mostly half of it is all Game Informer and stuff from 2000 and 2003 era, including a lot of game guides.
Pre and post 9/11. Is there a 9/11 tribute issue?
Oh, I should check.
That's kind of one of my favorite things to do, like from an archaeological kind of standpoint of being like, what was the first VMAs that happened after 9/11? Because that's usually around September, so it could have been.
But here's the GameStop Holiday 2003 guide. Give games
9/11 edition. 2 years late on that one.
Maybe it's because that I think 10.2 came out in November. It is not mentioned in this in the gift guide, which is a bummer. Oh, there it is. It's the very first thing coming soon.
Oh, when I said it wasn't mentioned, it was actually the first thing mentioned.
I didn't think it would be like right.
Yeah, that's really good.
But yeah, it's been like kind of fun going through. Like, God, just see the design. You can get a PlayStation 2 for $179.
Damn.
That's about $300 cheaper than the Switch 2, which
it's not bad.
but that's in $2,003.
Yeah, I was like, let me see the exchange rate there, because
Final Fantasy 11 coming soon.
Nice,
awesome. Play online. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. But I thought it might be exciting for friend of the pod. Oh, the cover's missing. This is a Final Fantasy 7 strategy guide. The cover's missing.
Oh, nice.
But it is the of the era.
Oh, it looks so good though.
It's so crunchy.
I love it.
Brady's this is the Brady's games. Love that. I'm really excited that this isn't here.
looks like that exchange rate of 179 around that time is around like $300 to $330. Still cheaper than the Switch 2.
Jade Cocoon. This sounds familiar. I feel like I saw someone's.
I've always wanted to play that.
I think Nina, past guest of the pod, was streaming this at some point. It's like a really bizarre kind of niche JRPG.
Yeah, I had a friend who had that when I was younger who had that on PS1. I would go over to his house and watch him play it, but I never got my hands on it myself.
It's cool. We've got, there's a lot of PSM magazines. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2.
Fuck yeah.
Which has a DVD in it with, let's see, Dragon Ball GT episode 42 and Yu Yu Hakusho Tournament's End super trailer.
Wow.
Some like Funimation promotional
Dragon Ball
stuff.
GT episode.
Plus
42.
trailers for Dragon
what's
Ball
going on in that
Tenchi
one.
Muyo, Kitty Grade, Fruits Basket.
A dangerous union.
Is this anything? Pete Budokai.
Yes.
This still has the cover on it. Final Fantasy 8. Look at that little Maxell sticker.
Nice. I think I recently found my Final Fantasy VIII. I found recently a bunch of my old strategy guides and ones I got from GameStop when they were pennied out. And I think I found Perfect Dark, which was great because I just did a playthrough of Perfect Dark on N64. And I was on the last level. And then I happened to look in a crate and saw my strategy guide. I was like, this would have been so fucking helpful.
This would be really cool. I got Parasite Eve and Parasite Eve 2 as official strategy guides.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Very cool.
That reminds me, I did over the last couple months, I've started putting together like a classic JRPG collection of like the Japanese versions of games. So I have gotten like the Breath of Fires for PS1, the Parasite Eves for PS1, all the Final Fantasies and stuff like that. So that's been a lot of fun. And like collecting Japanese games is a lot cheaper than buying like English ones or American ones.
Yeah, I bet.
Speaking of differences between Japanese and English, so the English title of Dragon Ball GT episode 42, which first aired in Japan on April 16th, 1997, and original air date for America was July 24th, 2004, which is a crazy difference in
7
time.
year difference.
A dangerous union. And then the Japanese title is translated to Dai Goku, strong enemies are resurrected from hell.
Hell yeah.
And it's the second episode of the Super 17 saga.
Well, speaking of unions, I think that's
not
what like the IWW needs to use as their like logo or their their catch line from now on.
Die blank, strong enemies are resurrected from hell.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Fill that in with any of the current super villains that we have.
A lot of code books. Remember when game guides had codes in them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think I actually just was at a thrift store the other day and got an old code book. Just like an indie one. Or like not an indie one, but like one of the old ones where it's like each page was dedicated to cheat codes that you could punch in for like Tony Hawk game. And I think Enter the Matrix was in there, which is pretty sick.
Game Boy Advance designer speaks. Like literally, like when they were speculating what the Game Boy Advance might look like, and it's just like,
oh wow,
it's just a
so
it's a Game Boy Pocket with the.
That's awesome.
This is January. Sorry about the focus. January 2000 issue of Game Informer, which had a much different logo than I remember. Toomba.
Mm-hmm.
I think didn't Game Informer recently come back?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think there was I forget all the logistics of it. And I think overall, from what I've seen from my game journalist friends, it was like a good thing and not just like a fucking NFT shilling.
Oh yeah.
Hermit crabbing into the husk of a dead IP that we all knew and loved.
Armored Core 2, extremely fun, but
They made
maybe
two of those
too
games? Holy
complex.
shit.
But maybe too complex.
Six rules. I need to go back and play 6.
We don't see much of a future from this From Software company.
It's an instruction manual for the PlayStation 2 if you don't know how to use it. Oh my gosh, Tony Hawk Underground. Oh, I don't. There's the covers missing, but I do love that Chocobo Mystery Dungeon.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's a cute ad, yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest regrets in life is getting rid of all of my Nintendo Power. The thing that kind of helps me sleep at night is I'm pretty sure I just had it in a bin in my basement, and then my basement flooded. So I think a lot of them were like destroyed. But I think at one point I had that moment where you're like 13 or something. You're like, why do I even have these anymore? I don't need these. I won't ever want. I'm not ever gonna look at these. And now I'm like, fuck. I would love a full collection of Nintendo Power, but that shit is
I did that with all my old
now.
mags and stuff.
Yeah.
Legend of Dragoon.
Nice.
Tekken 3.
Ooh. Two of my faves back to back.
Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Yes, dude. Fuck yeah.
And Code Veronica.
So you just found all of these just in your basement because someone left them there? In like 20 years, that person is going to have a podcast and be like, man, my biggest regret. Yo, hell yeah. What does it say? What is the...
Sex, Lies, and Video Games?
Sex, Lies, and Video Games.
Oh, yeah, this is the... one of the Dead or Alive games, which they're still making those apparently from what I've heard.
The what games?
Dead or Alive games.
Oh,
The fighting games?
Okay, so...
No, they're like dating games.
Oh, interesting. Because I know that they had like Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, which when they were like showing that on like Comedy Central at like 11 p.m. or whatever, like commercials for that, I was like, whoa, that game looks amazing, because I was like a 13-year-old boy.
So I recently, speaking of video game stuff, I recently started a backlogged account. I don't know if you all have those. Or whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like a Letterboxd, but for gaming.
It's exactly Letterboxd, but for games.
Don't tell me. Don't put this fucking evil on me, dude. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna make one just for the fucking podcast. Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy III, Final Fantasy X too.
Well, I've been going there every couple of days. I'll like go and add a couple that I've played before. And like when I beat the Endless Monday update, I like added that on there. But I'm a very like, how do I put it? Like, I like video game in the way that like a finished video game is a miracle, and therefore I'm like I'm predisposed to giving things a lot of stars as opposed to a few, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same way.
Dude, I'm going to comment on what Alex is holding
Holy
up in 2
shit.
seconds, because that's insane. But
a Pokemon card collection as well.
Yeah, so it looks like Alex might actually be holding in his hand something that can make him retire, and then we can do the podcast full time.
Because I don't want to get done.
What's Dark Arbok worth?
But I was going to say that, like, now that I have the backlogged account, I've made one star game. There's only been one game that I've been like, this is dog shit. And it was Dead or Alive 6. I was like, this game sucks.
I thought you were saying your game was going to be 1 star.
Yeah, I'm like, working on it.
I made 1 star game.
I'm hoping to make a 1-star game. But DOA 6 was the one game that I was like, this sucks. Sorry, anyway.
These Mario Kart 64 trading cards.
Holy shit.
Yo,
yeah, no, Alex just held up a
sick.
whole binder of Pokemon cards, like classic ones. And we're just like, what the fuck?
A lot of them look like they're 2nd edition with a 2 on it.
Fucking trash, throw them away. 2nd edition, fucking put them in the garbage where they belong.
I'm guessing this was a younger kid because, like, there are not a lot. They're here. Oh my god, this Mewtwo art is so gross looking.
Looks like Dark Arbok is not really worth too much.
Oh, it's a promo Mewtwo. This fucking ugly guy.
Oh yeah, I have that one too. Now, I have that exact Mew next to it, but mine is holographic and Japanese. Which I think might be kind of worth money, but it's like, I'm never going to fucking sell my Pokemon cards. There's a few things I've been selling a lot of my music gear that's just been taking up space. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't really have too much sentimental value. Ooh, hello, Toucan.
Oh yeah, there's a Toucan still here. She's been my office buddy.
Very sweet. Krobus is behind me somewhere. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see her, actually.
Shrimps was in my room, but he kept
There she
like
is.
stepping on the keyboard, so I threw him out.
Send him to kitty jail.
That's right.
I love these old cards. Some of these, okay, that says 1st edition. Some of them with the fossil era. Very faded looking on some of these. Like, oh, this is a scratched up but Ninetales, but it looks like a really old one. What are you doing?
I went Toucan to see Krobus.
Oh, look at that. Look at Krobus.
Oh, I see. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, she's very hard to see. A lot of times I will like put a black t-shirt on the ground because who has
Yeah,
time
just
to put it in a hamper
just
or
disappears
a drawer?
into it.
And then no, I just like look down
Oh,
like,
okay.
hey Krobus, and then it's like, oh, that's just my t-shirt that I've been looking at for like 3 minutes. That's not her. I don't know where she is.
I'm looking up this card. It's not worth too much. Unless it's... it's not a first edition. It's like actually. The first edition is not worth very much, but this one doesn't even say first edition on it, because first edition wasn't actually the first one, right? It was, they put those out later.
Probably.
Because it'd be weird to say, like, hey, these are first edition because we put a sticker on it that says first edition.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What is the most expensive Pokemon card? Most valuable Pokemon?
I bet Post Malone owns it, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. Probably. Trainer Super Secret Battle Mewtwo, $90,000. Promo cards that was given out to players who won entry in the Super Secret Battle in 1999. Yeah, I feel like that's probably pretty hard to find. I've been playing the Pokemon trading card mobile game.
Oh, yeah.
And it got significantly less fun after the first couple of weeks of it. But I recently pulled one of the rarest cards in the shiny deck, and I was like... And it's the Pokeball. It's the gold Pokeball, which I was just like, well, I do use this in my deck, but I would have really liked the shiny Charizard, which is less rare. I've
been enjoying it, more or less. I haven't been doing the battles as much these days.
Yeah,
but
battling fucking sucks. I think that's like I really like the battling, but I feel like it's just I am always opposed to having to follow a meta. And that is everything in that game is just like Celebi deck. You have to watch as they flip 27 fucking coins, and if they hit if two of those are heads, then you're dead. And I'm like, great. I'm just using the same deck that I used from day one, where I'm essentially just a Team Rocket grunt, where I have 2 Arboks and 2 Weezings, so 2 Ekans and 2 Coughings as well, and then just like Pokeballs, and I think like Professor Oak and stuff, and it's basically just poison them and then send in Arbok and lock them in and just fucking destroy them, because it takes very little time to set all of that up. Oh, and I have 2 Kogas as well, so I can just like retreat Weezing immediately.
Oh hell yeah.
But it's also like I tried doing a battle the other night, and the player was like sent out like Palkia and Dialga and then like Mew, and like started doing all of this setup, and I was just sitting there as like it was taking them like a minute to just do their one setup, and then they put out a Shaman which could like heal every turn, and I was just like,
oh my god,
I don't fucking care. Yeah, I don't care. My turns take 15 seconds every time, and then other people are like setting up for like 4 fucking minutes, and you're like, well, they're gonna hit me once and kill me, so this fucking sucks.
Also, for the listener, I am now done with my tuna sandwich I've been eating for the past 20 minutes. So I'm back, baby.
Hell yes.
You really should just make like a giant vat of like what I've been doing is just making a lot of one thing. So just make a big giant bowl of tuna salad.
You know what? I have been spending so much freaking money on food recently. I've been trying to come up with like a good solution for not doing that. And friend of the podcast, Rob, I was talking to him and being like, how can I just make my dietary habits such that I eat a big bowl of slop every day? Like I just need like a trough with like a nutrient paste that's like cheap, right?
Put it in a giant hamster water bottle. So you just, like, suck on
exactly.
The end of it.
But he was like, dog, what you need to do is get a rice cooker and some eggs and just crack an egg into rice. That shit delicious, cheap, and good for you. And I'm like, ooh, so I need to do that. That's what I need to like start doing.
I've been meaning to do more meal prep shit too. I was so tempted to do the shitty shill thing of the sponsorship I have on Twitch right now.
They aren't paying us.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah, they're not paying you guys. They're paying me. But also that it is a little expensive. I can say that because they're not going to fucking listen to this. It is a little expensive, but the like 50% off and free shipping worked out really good, and it does bum me out that the meals are good as hell, and I would like to continue the thing, but I'm like, I'm not paying the full price for it.
Yeah.
Usually with the like box like meal planning things, it felt like trading wheels for a while. I was like, oh cool, now I know how to make the thing, and now I don't need you anymore.
Yeah. So with this, it's more.
I know
like
how to make aiolis of every type.
Alex doing the meme where the kid's throwing Woody on the ground from Toy Story. That's the meal plan thing.
That's exactly what
I
did.
You fool! You gave me all the recipes.
That's what I did.
You gave me the means to defeat you.
That's definitely what I did with HelloFresh. This one's more of like
the apprentice has become the master.
It's like a fresh meal prep thing, and I was like, oh yeah, freezer meals and stuff, and they're like, do not freeze this. This is not a freezer thing, and I was like, oh.
Boo.
No, it's really good though. I've been enjoying it, and I'm almost done all of my boxes, and I swiftly canceled after it. And everyone who has used my code to do it, I was like, you should cancel it right away, because it's worth it when you get like the 10 meals for $60, and then anything after that will not. It will absolutely not be worth it, even though it is very tasty.
Are you the band lit because you sound like your own worst enemy?
Yes.
All right, there we go.
Yes.
Sorry.
I am the band Real Big Fish, in on account of me being a sellout.
Curtis, as someone who introduced me to local restaurant Koreana, my favorite thing to do with a rice cooker / Instant Pot is just make curry soup, and which is just from Fuwa, the little corner store. Get a little tin of curry paste, a can of coconut milk, and any ass protein you want in there, cilantro, and just let it all simmer together for a big thing of noodles, and it just kind of create your own damn big hearty ass spicy soup. Just blast your
it does
sinuses.
sound pretty good.
It's so low effort. Like that's why I've been making lots of soups. It's just like I can just throw it in a bin and don't have to look at it.
The habit that I learned from the Philadelphia restaurant Koreana is, yes, you can just throw a slice of cheese on anything. Like, it doesn't matter. You can just have like any nationality, any food. You can just throw a slice of cheese on at the end, right on top, and not mix it in or anything. And they're right.
Here's a good food tip for you. Get the Wawa soft pretzels, and then get a slice of American cheese or two slices of American cheese. Put it on top of that. Throw it in a toaster oven for like a minute. Wait until the cheese gets a little burnt, and that shit's so good.
Alex, I assume you're going to be editing this later, right?
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, if you do actually go edit it, you should bleep this next part out, because what I'm getting ready to say is highly illegal, and people will come after us for this. But never really been big on the soft pretzels myself.
That's fair.
I know, like,
Yeah,
as a Philadelphia resident, I feel like I should get run out of town
It
on the
depends
rail.
on which ones you've had. The Wawa ones are not great.
I feel like it's a donut thing where if you get them like really early in the morning when they're like fresh.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's
because
fair.
every bodega is getting the same exact things, but they are getting them every morning, like 4 in the morning. So
That's a good point.
There's a place. The Philadelphia Pretzel Factory is actually pretty good. When I was in high school, I had friends who worked there, and they would have to close up shop. And what they would do was just pretend someone called in a whole party tray, and then they would bake it like right towards like the end, and they'd be like, nah, they're coming in to pick it up. And it would be sitting there for like an hour, and they'd be like, well, looks like we got to close it up. I guess I'll take this home. And then they would just show up to the party with an entire free tray of like pretzels. So that was sick. But there's a place in Delco called, I think it's still there. I don't know. I haven't been that way in a while, but Bernie's pretzels. And they were the fucking shit. They were so good.
When you said that way, I thought you meant like your lifestyle. It's like, oh, I haven't really been very Delco. Like,
I've been. The older I get, the more Delco.
As in you geographically have not been that way. Like, I haven't been that way.
Yeah. No. Unfortunately, I get more and more Delco every passing day. I've just learned to embrace it. So
Terminal
Delconian. Delco.
I am reminded. There's another video game I started playing too that I haven't mentioned yet. Started playing Hatsune Miku Fitness Boxing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. What is that on?
It's on the Switch.
Okay.
And that game will fuck you up. That game will work your ass to the ground if you actually do it. The thing is, because like the Joy-Cons, they only register like whether or not you're moving. That's really it. It can't tell what motion you're doing. So you could just sit down and go like this, and you would just get 100%. Like if you're just flicking your wrist, and it would go like, wow, what a good workout.
For the listener,
yeah, it's the honor system.
Curse is just doing the jack off motion.
Yeah.
You're casting the smallest line.
I was going to say, I jerk off like I'm casting a fucking fishing line. Yeah.
At the carnival, a very small one.
I wonder if they're going to do a Switch 2 version of it where you can use the fucking really shitty webcam to have it track your movements more.
But yeah, if you actually like put the effort in, though, it's tough, man.
That's how Ring Fit was. I played that for a little bit, and it's like you could actually fucking, like, a friend of the show, Sarah from Daycare Dittos, actually like injured herself going too hard in Ring Fit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake I feel like Nintendo did, I think it's the same thing with the Wii Fit, is like not making other games like have that be compatible. Like, I would totally play Theorhythm if there was a a ring fit mode.
Oh, sure.
So like you just turn a rhythm game into a fitness game if you just like let it and stuff like that.
Pretty classic Nintendo to just be like, fuck it, ship it, forget about it. It's done.
No one will never address it.
We made
again.
money off it. Fuck it. Labo, fuck you. You
oh
bought
yeah,
our cardboard,
about...
fuck you.
Who remember Labo? Damn.
I still have my mostly unconstructed Labo box. I started on the piano, and in true Carl form, I did not finish it. And
it sounds like something to do on stream.
I wonder if you can get the Ring Fit working on PC, because I was watching someone play click holding recently. I was like, man,
I've heard of that.
Playing this game with a Ring Fit would be real cool. Like just
that would be hilarious. Yeah.
Just get the click 1,000 times or whatever, but you're just like, yeah, like we need more cross game peripherals and stuff like that. Like, instead of just letting the weird hackers play like Donkey Konga controls, or Dr. Dupe doing no hit run of Elden Ring with a saxophone.
Yeah, right.
With the Aerophone.
Yes.
I did have to become the annoying fucking person who's like, actually, it's not an Iwi. It is an Aerophone.
It's true. But yeah, I don't know where we're going with this conversation, but just checking in.
Just checking in, It's been a while since we've talked to each other. Dear listener, if you're like, haven't heard Alex, Carl, and Curtis talk to each other in a while, it's like, we have not talked to each other like this since the last time you heard us, pretty much. So.
We're mostly just yelling at a Zaku show, usually with other people around too. But that's about it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens when things...
the state of the pod is that we went out onto like the balcony to address the people, and then we just kind of like shrugged and we're like,
there's no drama, don't worry. There's no like when you like every time you search like a band or a podcast, like there's always the autocomplete says like controversy like at the end, even if there
like
is
former
none.
Members and shit.
Yeah.
What happened? Are they good? Like, why were they canceled even though like it's just like completely nonsensical?
They found out that I don't like soft pretzels, and so
they've
been ostracizing me.
Oh my god! I would like to bring you a Bernie's pretzel and see how you feel. And if you don't like it,
I'd give it a shot.
That's fine. That's totally fine and normal.
Yeah, maybe we could do like a co-stream or something like that if it's something a little less doing homework. Like, so we don't have to do homework if we want to. Like, I think that could be fun.
And if you're listening and you're like, hey, this was nice or whatever, and you would like some more of this stuff where it's like it's not Final Fantasy centric or anything, let us know. We've kind of kicked around doing something sort of like this, a little more like planned ahead than this for a while.
Less off the cuff, but more like, hey, here's something I've been doing, or here's something that I want to present to y'all, instead of like, hey, everyone has to be on the same page and read the same chapter of this book or whatever.
I think that kind of also kind of died on the vine, because it was like, then it became the over engineering of it, of all us being like, okay, but like, what should I do? And like, how would we do this? And we want to actually have a structure and stuff. And it's like, the easiest way to not do something is to overthink it. And I feel like that's kind of been the case with some stuff, but...
If you want to watch someone play through all Final Fantasy, I think iZombie has started streaming every Final Fantasy, starting with 1.
And indeed, every FNF.
And she is currently in the middle of 2.
Yeah.
Talking about Minwo. I think she's playing the PSP version. But it's been fun hanging out in there, because we played FF2, I think, last. Mm-hmm. And it's been, it's cool.
Yeah. I guess also just kind of thinking of like future stuff. We were kicking around the idea of maybe doing one of the longer games next season, because before this we did take like a longer break between seasons than we intended on, or normally did, just because that was kind of the start of us all getting more and more busy. But I'm thinking like, if we finish up when we finish up Final Fantasy X too, I'll say, I think it would probably be good to go back and do like a more streamlined one that's kind of quick, just to kind of ease us back into the motion of it, if you guys think that's a
Chocobo GP. I'll just sit here and be like, this is awful.
Yeah, we could start doing some side games and shit.
I do like the side games, especially for like when we were talking about Dirge, we were coming at it with like the context of something else instead of trying to ingest this weird thing. And exactly. It's a very much of a corridor like shooter type of game versus like a lot of little vignettes kind of piled on top of each other, little episodes, which is kind of which 10-2 kind of feels almost like a clip show in some ways.
Yeah. Speaking of Dirge, I did recently Twitch updated how they handle saving highlights of your videos, and they were basically like, hey everyone, guess what, you don't get that anymore. You can have 100 hours and then everything else is gone. We're deleting it all. So I did download all of my footage of me streaming Dirge of Cerberus and put it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
so if you wanted to
I know
watch
the
that,
speedrun community specifically has been kind of in shambles because of the Twitch VODs being the verification. Now they have to download it and rehost it and resubmit it. Like, do they have to resubmit it now?
It depends on the board. Like, a lot of the boards are just like, we know that these ones exist, even if footage goes away. Like, it's been vetted. We know that this is a legitimate time, and so they'll let them stand. There might be some where they're like, it's a competitive world record or whatever.
Sorry,
you need to
Mario 64. Everyone, all 12,000 pages of people who speedrun that game, you have to resubmit.
Yeah, right.
No, but the plus side of that, the optimistic way of looking at that is that forced me to just do a dual stream to YouTube. So anytime I stream on Twitch, it also just goes to my YouTube channel now, and then that is there forever. So that is my VOD dump, and I've also been trying to do more stuff with YouTube just in general. Like, I've been playing through the recently announced and shadow dropped Oblivion remake or remaster, I should say. And I got like 3 videos of that up, and then last night I was like, well, I want to play Oblivion, but I don't want to stream it. So I just recorded all the footage, and I'll probably do a standalone like YouTube only video for that of like the 2 missions that I did during that and stuff. And it's it's for like no one. It's for like a couple of people. Like, shout outs to Jasper, who is a listener of the podcast, who is constantly commenting, because at some point on an episode I was like, oh, go to my YouTube video and comment this, and Jasper actually did it, which is fucking cool.
He's got the cute dogs, right?
I think so, yeah. But yeah, so that's been kind of fun. Trying to do more shit with YouTube.
I'm also trying to maybe get back into streaming, partially by way of just me hanging out in Twitch streams so much while I work. I got kind of the VTubing bug, which a lot of people have been learning game dev through VTubing. So like, I'm currently building a stream environment in Godot, and currently it works where like a chatter can come in and it'll generate a random little avatar that they can customize.
It's sick.
It's really cool. It's really
inspired
sick.
by people like Renee right here, Fruitsy Collins, who's incredible. She's done she's basically made a Chow Garden in Unreal Engine. And
oh, that's so sick.
They do races and shit like that. You can customize, do a lot of special actions and gotcha mechanics. It's super cool and super polished. But yeah, streaming seems like a fun avenue for that, because it forces me to learn different things, but also just like little tiny project I can just tack onto the stream environment. And so
yeah, sure.
I recently made a sequencer so people can eventually type in a redeem to like play a piano, and it'll just parse out the text that you've entered as a string.
Can I play the piano anymore?
Of course you can.
Well, I couldn't before.
So that's what I've been kind of doing, just like very small little things like this, just for stream and stuff like that. Which hopefully I want to use streaming as kind of a way to accountability for like, oh, I want to work on like music right now, but if I have people watching me, I feel like I'll stay more on track. And also a lot of people I hang out in, like, I've been like wanting to like share. I've been sharing my like, you know, music production knowledge and like even game dev knowledge and stuff like that. Or even I co-streamed with someone who is just learning Blender, so I was kind of helping them with something like that. So I thought it'd be cool to, you know, do some of my own projects on Twitch.
I feel like streaming is such a double-edged sword when it comes to that for me, because like, if I need to work on something, it's good because I'm in an environment where I can't click away and do something else. But if I'm like trying to learn something, it's bad because I'm concentrating on like chat or whatever and stuff. Because I was like, I kind of want to start streaming again too, but I don't know what to do. Like now I guess I'm playing the Clear Obscure game, but I wasn't really playing any games before or like things that would be fun to watch. I didn't really feel like speedrunning. So I was like, well, I guess I could like practice guitar, but like you get the best practice when you're concentrating on what you're doing and like everything else around you is off because you're just trying to drill things. So I was like, well, that would be the worst time to practice, would be doing that. And then like, oh, maybe I can do some like streaming for my video game that I'm making, right? But a lot of the things I need to do for that are like making assets for important story beats. So I don't want to do those on there. So I'm just like, well, there's really nothing I can like stream right now. So I don't know. We'll see.
Co-working streams are all the rage now, where it's just people hanging out and like you have a big blurred screen that says like NDA or whatever on it.
Yeah, man.
Well, like I don't know, fucking like cat TV plays over the instead, so y'all can just vibe out.
You can do what I do and just give yourself, speaking of fucking backlog, just give yourself way too much shit to do on stream to where it's like insurmountable almost. But I started a thing a couple years ago where I was like, this will be a fun thing that happens like once or twice every couple of weeks, where I have a deck of cards that are like Dark Souls themed. And it was like, if I get like 3 subs today, then I draw a card and stuff. And then like immediately it was just kind of like, I drew the entire deck and I was like,
so behind on stuff. Yeah.
So that's like, there's like a bunch of stuff in there, like play Halo or like some of the challenges that I did and stuff. And the whole idea for this was like, well, I need a reason to do stuff on YouTube and I could maybe make this into like a YouTube series. And then it got super overwhelming immediately because it was like an immediate huge backlog. So like everything else kind of fell by the wayside, but I've been back on that and I've switched it up a little bit. So now I have a health bar like under my webcam, and every time any kind of support, it's not just like sub based now, it's like if you send bits or whatever, that decreases the health bar a little bit, and when it goes down to 0 then I draw a card and that corresponds to something like so that's why I was playing Perfect Dark on stream and stuff. And I think I am currently in the green, but also Oblivion coming out and me streaming it is like, well, I did just start doing the 120 star run of Super Mario 64 that I was going to stream, but now I just want to play like I recently over the past year played 150 hours of Oblivion for the first time, and I was like,
really?
I love this game, I adore it so much. And then I was like, man, I would like to play it again, I would like to stream it someday, but who has the time for that? And then Bethesda was like, here you go, and I was like, well, I guess I'm streaming it now. So
that's cool. Yeah, my roommate is downstairs right now playing it. So
fuck yeah. What? Let me guess. Is your roommate playing a build that is a stealth archer?
No, I don't think so.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. She likes to do it the crazy way.
Nice.
Usually she likes to do magic stuff a lot of times.
I'm doing magic and alchemy this time because I was a stealth archer for 150 hours. And it's funny, like seeing everyone on Twitch playing it right now. I just go in and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? What's your build? And they're like, I'm thinking of doing stealth archer. I'm like, hell yeah. Like the classic. It's Bart. It's Bart with rock, paper, scissors. Good old rock. Nothing beats that.
I mean, it's in my opinion, it's the best way to play it your first time.
It's so much fun. It's so good. No, I agree. But it was funny. I was talking to a lot of people with that, and friend of the pod, Regal, is going through it as well. And someone on YouTube was just asking him while he was streaming. They're like, "Oh, what build are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm actually doing this like super niche build. It's got a lot of like cool synergies that like you know that you wouldn't expect and stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm sneaking around and also using archery."
That's so good.
Good bit.
Yeah.
Well, play Expedition 33. It's really good. Anyway,
fuck yeah, I need to. Do you guys got any announcements or anything?
You can wishlist my video game if you like.
You should do it.
What's it called? Negative Reverie?
Negative Reverie. So it's on Steam.
What's it called? Expedition 33. Yeah, wishlist.
Yeah,
Curtis's game. Expedition 33.
No, I'm making a Game Boy RPG called Negative Reverie. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. We all
looks
2,500-ish wish lists. So like that, it's all right? It's gonna take forever. I'm gonna be doing this until the day I die, so don't expect it to be out anytime soon.
It's your baby, so you feel you gotta find someone just as sick and twisted as you to like help you with the art or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
it's funny because it's like, I love the programming part of it. I love like setting up systems. I love using Godot. Like that's all so much fun. And whenever I put in a new system, then I think to myself like, oh my God, I have to draw like 50 assets to like fill up that system now. And like, God, it takes so long. So
I should do a competitive thing against you, Curtis. Where I just make a Super Mario World ROM hack, which would be my version of doing that. Cause I have messed around with Godot, and it's like, I am so rusty with programming and shit that I'm just like my brain, and in the same way that Alex is with like audio engineering stuff, my job is so fucking miserable and has been I'm coming up on year 12 at my job, which is fucking disgusting. And it's like, anything that's even adjacent to doing the IT shit that I have to do, I'm like,
yeah, I understand
hate
that
it so much.
that.
So like, I would love to do Godot and like learn these systems and stuff, and then I'm like, I can't do it. My brain is too fried. I can't do it. But a ROM hack, that's something that I've always kind of wanted to do as well. So I should do that as well, and we should try and launch at the same time.
Yeah, well, you probably have like 2.5, 3 years.
That's what I mean. I don't think I would be able to release like a 5 exit hack like in that time probably, but who knows?
I've just been learning enough things to like eventually like lightning will strike. Like I know how to make that, and that's the type of thing where it's like a very small scale thing where like I know like fucking Belated was made by one guy and the music was made by someone on Fiverr.
Fucking Stardew Valley was made by one guy, essentially, I think.
Like Undertale and all that stuff. But
so
he's amazing one dev. Also, like I've been meaning to play. Was it Small Saga, which is kind of a Berserk meets Super Mario RPG meets Redwall, where you're
wow, holy shit.
Where it has the kind of isometric pixel art like layout and battle system ish of like Super Mario RPG. The battle screen's very like Fire Emblem influence, but it looks really cool. Also made just by one person.
That sounds really cool,
yeah. Stuff like that. Where just like maybe when I get like a new graphics card, we can all stream Stranger of Paradise together, because since that is a thing.
There we go. There we go.
We can do like a YouTube series or something.
Yeah.
Just a 3-player campaign together.
That would be very funny.
Stomping Tomberries.
Yeah.
Koopas.
Cool, man.
Yeah. I guess
I'm on Twitch more often at Malform and Kurt.
That's a Malform with a 4. Malform.
Malam for those who see him as a first-time chatter.
I like it. It's very charming.
Yeah.
Feels like they're calling me a lamb. It's very nice.
Doing at Malam.
And Carl, you're still I see you streaming all the time.
I'm streaming all the time. I'm streaming fucking everywhere, man. It's very easy to set up multi-stream. So even though my computer is like actively melting because it's old and sucks, and I'm doing more than just playing shitty old Dark Souls on it, I'm streaming on YouTube, which my YouTube is at Carl Germ Plays. I also have a Carl Germ Music one, which if you go there, you will see most of Zaku's set from Ort Leaves a couple weeks ago. That was like my old channel that I just abandoned. And then I was like, well, I have a lot of old homies playing music on that, so I'll just keep it for that. But yeah, other than that, I've kind of been I've been kicking around the idea of doing like a podcast as well, like just a standalone thing where I know a lot of people with a lot of very interesting stories, and it's like stuff that like if we're all hanging out, we're like, yo, you got to tell this story. Like, oh, tell them that time that this thing. So like the premise is to just get those stories heard by more people. So like it would be like guests would be like my older brothers and friends.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I talked to Mark Water, who was a former guest of the show on the Final Fantasy X season. He's pretty down for an episode. You guys are always welcome as well, but not sure what the time frame for that would be. But that's a project that I've wanted to start for like years, like probably even before like starting this podcast. So I don't know, keep an eye out for that, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's all I got.
Yeah. Keep an ear out for other announcements, I guess, on the blue sky.
Yeah. I feel like we've all pretty much abandoned. Well, I say us all, I'm speaking for you guys, but I'm like, I just haven't been on Twitter at all. Maybe.
I got to the point where I was like, whenever you make any kind of media, whether it's this is just like the nature of like making media at all in 2025, not just in America, but all over the world, is that whenever you generate something and you put it online, you are generating value for the company that you post that and that stuff on. Because that's where they get their value, is they're selling that to advertisers and advertisers.
I think, DAU, daily average users.
Yeah. So obviously with America being the country it is in 2025 and the companies who run it to much extent, I was like, well, I feel like posting to Twitter is an unconscionable act at this point. Like generating value for it, using my hard work to generate value for it does not feel right. So I have completely abandoned Twitter at this point.
Yeah, no, same. And I was
the only time I like open it is if I see like people are talking about something I don't know what it is. So I literally open up Twitter and see what's trending. I don't even actually like look at the tweets. I just see like the subjects. Like, oh,
yeah.
something happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've like the thing with Blue Sky is that you can like subscribe to moderation lists, which is a huge win for me. It was like, here's like all the like extreme like conspiracy theorist accounts or like bot accounts. We've just added them to this list, and if you subscribe to it, it automatically blocks it for you.
Right.
Hell yeah.
It's really cool things
and
like that.
To be sure as well, like it's not like Blue Sky is the solution to those problems.
No.
You're still generating value for. I mean, even though they're not like they don't have advertisers yet on there.
They're decentralized too, I think. So like anyone could like take their
you can take your ball and go home and have all your information with you. Yeah. So it's not the answer, but it is a step toward the right answer, I think. So
back how email used to be, and like IRC chat rooms and
the old internet that is if not completely dead, actively dying, and we're all, as boomers who were there when it started, are clinging on to that as much as we can. And that's how I am with Twitter too. I was like, dude, I'm gonna just ride this fucking ship until it like sinks. Then I'm like, oh no, the ship I am on now is most of the other passengers are just fucking Nazis, like straight up. And I'm fine with pulling the cord. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, once the ship starts to be fueled by racism instead of posts, it's like, well, maybe I'll get off this ship.
The algorithm, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, indeed.
It's amazing how much like interaction I'm getting on like Blue Sky too. It's just very fun and wholesome.
Nice.
It's nice. I like it.
It seems less horrifying and existential. Like I was listening to one of our older episodes and weeping openly because I miss you guys so much. But like all of our listeners are, I'm sure. But Curtis, you congratulated me on one of my banger tweets, and I was like, this could be a couple of them, and I don't know which one it is, and I got like anxious just here, and I'm like, oh god, that's right. I was like, was it the Bloodborne one where a bunch of fucking incels were pissed at me? And then it was like, no, it was the one where I just reposted a TikTok of a guy using a tech deck underwater. But yeah, Twitter bad.
I reposted my Tomberry thing, and like that went off again, like with the Kermit head on Tomberry, and
fuck yeah,
which I think inspired a like Yeti shirt eventually, because it's like, oh hey, look, a Kermit Tomberry shirt, I'm buying that. But, like I'm not taking credit for it. I'm like, I'm sure I helped kind of get this in the ether.
Sure.
Yeah, you put it into the collective unconscious or whatever.
That's the ideal thing to do, is no one knows who you are, but you have an influence like that. That makes things better.
I know that this is already going super long, and this is less of a state of the pod and more of just like, hey, we're chatting, and you as a listener just to get to hang in and listen to it. But to extend it again a little bit further, I've noticed that like a lot of the people who make art that inspires me, right? Who I'll follow on different websites, but mostly I like follow these artists on Blue Sky or whatever. A lot of them, if not the majority of them, I don't know who they are, and they don't like. The only time they post is to like post art or to say something funny, and that's it, and then they disappear. And I'm like, that's such a good like vibe that they
is
just
like the ideal vibe to have. Which I feel like for the longest time that was Drill. And I think he's actually gone on the record and said like he doesn't really give a shit about being anonymous or something. Like he has a competing pod with us. It's not about Final Fantasy. There's like 5 episodes of it, but I think he kind of talked about that on one of them.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's and it's that was kind of like from like day one on Twitter, I like knew about Drill and like really appreciated all his posts and shit. And to find out that A, he's like a Philly guy essentially, and B, he's not a complete piece of shit, and he's actually like aligned with pretty much all of my beliefs. I'm like, fuck yeah, thank God. Like it was like a meet your heroes kind of moment of just like getting to know more about like I usually want to know less about the people who are posting. And then with Drill, I was like, I don't know if I really want to watch his Twitch stream and stuff. And then I'm like, oh no, he's actually very good. And it's not surprising because of how he's always posted. But
yeah.
And friend of the show, Pidge, did make a game where you can try and see when exactly Drill sold his account. Like everyone says, the fake Drill.
Before we started recording, I would like just point out I did refer to our podcast as the only podcast where all three members have met Pidge.
I can't even remember if that was before recording, but it's worth stating twice at least.
Yeah, I was just like, that might be the most important thing I've done with my life.
True.
So, speaking of Pidge, let me confirm something.
We're piping her into the conversation right now.
Yeah, here she is.
Now this podcast is only about drill, and it's just going to be me and Pidge talking about drill at length as everyone falls asleep.
Okay, I don't think it's out yet, but I think Pidge is writing a book. Writing a book, which I'll be happy to.
Yeah. Is that announced at all?
I don't know. Yeah. I couldn't find any information on it yet, so I would it's coming down the pipeline. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Pidge is a writer, and I'm really excited for a project they are working on.
Yes. Agreed.
So I'm gonna put something in the chat real quick, not the call chat, but our Discord, and just look how hard this picture is.
Oh my god.
Oh hell yeah.
That account Super Mario Broth.
I love Super Mario Broth.
Yeah, they just posted the actors playing Mario and Luigi in a Japanese Mercedes-Benz commercial, but without the mustaches, and they look so hard. It's so good.
They look like the Peter Jackson Tintin like.
I was trying to find a picture of the Mario DS commercial called Hot. I think it was like Hot Mario, but it was like in Japanese it's like Hot Mario, and it was just like a bunch of hot people like dressed as like Mario and Luigi, and it was just like showing them all in different like parts of the world to show like, oh, you can play online against people and stuff, and
you might be playing against Hot Mario.
The guy who's like supposed to be like the American guy is just wearing like a leather jacket, and he's just sitting there and he gets hit with a shell or something. He goes, "Oh no, come on!" It's like very good. It's that's been in my head since like 2006, and I think
that's
about
so
it all the
good.
time.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, I want to. Yeah. Sorry.
That's a podcast.
That's a podcast.
That's a podcast.
We don't really have credits for this one, I don't think.
Yeah.
Alex did the song Maybe.
Yeah.
You come back in like a month and I'll do like a one-man show podcast for 45 minutes where I talk about how good Expedition 33 is. Unless it becomes bad in the next so many hours. So it's possible.
And then I will take the shift the following month where I have a one-man show where I talk about how cool drill is. And then drill hears it and he kills me.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you all if you gotten this far.
If you've gotten this far, I'm so sorry.
You are a true fan. We are sending your commemorative fan buttons in the mail.
If you like more freeform things, even if we have planned content, but not so much like specifically to a certain game, and would like us to just kind of meet up and chat about a thing, let us know. I feel like that'd be kind of fun and less pressure on us for sure, but maybe else. Just keep in the habit of us talking, you know?
Sure.
Yeah,
it's been nice.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
It'd be nice catching up with y'all.
Yeah, agreed.
Hell yeah.
Just the monthly Discord call among friends that we then put out as quote unquote content.
And as always, Pidge is a friend to everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you all.